We are living in an economy where the people on top have never, ever.
I'm meteorologist Rich Ludeman. Some light snow will cause some slick spots overnight. We're going to talk about the numbers and check to see if there's any warm-up coming our way. That's all just ahead.
I'm Jessica Dupnack in Mount Clemens, where a group of fed-up neighbors are begging a breeder in their neighborhood to get his dogs out of the cold.
Imagine getting a letter saying you have to move out of your apartment because of financial problems that aren't your fault. I'm Dave Kinchin in downtown Detroit, where residents say that's exactly their situation. We explain next.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 10 starts now.
We begin tonight with the weather, and for good reason. Much of Michigan, the Midwest and Northeast hit with ice, snow, and high winds. The National Weather Service says over the weekend, Detroit saw 1.4 inches. Ann Arbor hit with 5 inches, and Saginaw seeing nearly 8. And more snow is making its way across Metro Detroit right now. And we know during the weekdays, it's a whole different story, 1 or 2 inches, than it is on the weekend.
That's exactly right. This last Saturday night, we had a few inches in spots. Now, what's going to fall tonight, Roop, is going to be on the light side. But as we know, it doesn't take a lot to make for some slick spots. So there is light snow falling across southeast Michigan. Some of it is so light, it's not really being picked up on radar very well, but it's out there. You can see Chicago, Indianapolis also dealing with the snow. The big story is the cold, and because it's so cold, what falls will stick, and to the roadways, it could present some problems in the morning. Here's some live pictures right here in Southfield. You can see the visibility is down just a bit with some of that very light snowfall. Visibility is around 3 miles in Ann Arbor, 4 in Adrian, not quite as bad up around Port Huron. The winter weather advisory is all south of us, and that's where the heavier totals will be. So I'm going with an inch or less for the rest of tonight. Could be a few spots, Lenawee, Monroe counties, that get a bit more, and then cold continues through midweek. We'll check it for you coming up in 20.
All right, thanks so much, Rich. Turning to Macomb County, where the temperatures are dropping, but tempers are rising. Neighbors escalate their fight to hold one dog owner accountable and force him to bring his dogs inside from the bitter temps. Neighbors reached out to the Fox 2 problem solvers, and when there's a dog in danger, you know who goes to the scene? Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack. She's on the case. Jess, you're bundled up tonight, but these dogs, they don't have that same luxury.
Yeah, it's really tough, Roop. We've been working on this story for more than a month, and what better night to do it when it's real cold out here. Now, the guy we're talking about, he's actually a breeder here in Mount Clemens, and he's gone to great lengths to hide what's going on in his backyard. We're talking a big privacy fence, tarps around the outdoor crates, and huge floodlights. Now, we're not naming names at this point in time because technically no crime has been committed, and at the end of all of this, all of our digging, it really looks like city ordinances will need to change here in Mount Clemens to make these neighbors happy.
I live right up against, to cut it to the chase, a backyard breeding nightmare.
Yeah. Thank you.
I believe this is passive aggression at its most.
Almost every day and night, regardless of the weather, this trio of fed-up neighbors say their neighbors' dogs are left in the elements. Straw or anything?
No,
Nothing. We've been tracking their complaints for more than a month out of this Mount Clemens neighborhood, and Miranda Mack kept providing receipts.
The only time they leave those kennels is to go into his garage, and it's all on his Facebook, to run a treadmill.
They say at least 4 bully breed dogs are inside the garage Monday night. They say not because it's cold, but because as many as 15 neighbors started turning up the heat on this breeder on social media, going to the police, animal control, and council meetings. But still, they say the dogs are left outside wailing all night to the point where they've all put sound machines in their homes.
Someone needs to finally help and correct the situation, and it has to start from the city.
Problem is, the dog's owner is technically not violating any city ordinances. Mount Clemens chose not to adopt Macomb County's progressive regulations on leaving dogs outside when it gets below freezing. We called animal control 3 times about this last month, and no response.
If you are not comfortable with a human being out in this cold, how can you be comfortable with an animal?
So we've covered these stories before, and sometimes it's just neighbor on neighbor issues. But literally, as we were doing the interview, people were coming out of their homes to sort of second, third, fourth what these ladies were saying. They're all fed up. As many as 15 to 20 neighbors have gone to meetings. They've called the police. They've tried to deal with animal control. Now, also of concern, that guy's Facebook page, we took a look at it and we showed some of those videos to independent animal welfare experts. Some serious concerns on how he's actually handling those dogs. We have all of that stuff, all that evidence in the right hands. They'll be looking into it. Now, coming up at 11, we're going to talk a little bit more about the weather, some recommendations for your own pets. Join us on The Edge in just a little bit. Reporting live in Mount Clemens, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
It's sad and painful to hear the yelps from those dogs that bark, knowing how cold it is. As you say, you're wearing a coat. I go outside, wear a coat. These poor dogs don't have the same choice. A little bit about the laws as it comes to the ordinances from a city versus the county. Break that down for us a little bit. I mean, is it kind of like federal and state laws? I mean, they obviously differ, and one can kind of upend the other or supersede the other.
Yeah, so local laws, it kind of supersedes all, Roop, when it comes to ordinances with animals. So in the county here in Macomb County, they took a progressive approach a couple of years ago. When it's 32 degrees or freezing, you cannot have your dogs outside for an extended period of time. Now, there's 4 jurisdictions here in Macomb County that chose to go their own path, including Mount Clemens. So really, there aren't a lot of regulations on the books, and that is how this guy has been able to avoid bringing those dogs inside.
Well, you and the neighbors will be on top of it. We'll continue to watch this very carefully. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
I would like them to hopefully reimburse us for the times we haven't been able to live in our dorms, and also for food reimbursement.
A new leak in Oakland University's hot water system forcing several campus buildings to close. The school was already closed last week for repair work, but once it was completed, a new leak surfaced, impacting nearly 20 buildings on campus, including 3 dorms. Many students have been forced to move out until the repairs are finished up or move to online classes instead.
Just a sad thing, sometimes it brings me to tears.
Residents of a downtown Detroit high-rise now left scrambling to find another place to live. DTE is shutting down power in the building over delinquent payments. Residents were informed the day after Thanksgiving that they would have to move out just 5 days later. Fox News' Dave Kinchin joins us live from downtown with the latest tonight. And Dave, where do things stand now?
Well, a lot of people are moving out at this late hour. As you said, this all centers around DTE. This is the Leland apartment complex behind me, and they've got several messages for DTE, but they don't have to go far. Here's why. Take a look. DTE is literally their next door neighbor. That's the headquarters for the power company right there. We'll go to video and fill you in on all of this. Now, on Black Friday, Leland residents say they got a letter saying they must move out by December 3rd because DTE Energy is planning to turn the power off. This is all over a large unpaid debt. No power, of course, means no living inside, especially in these frigid temperatures we're now dealing with. Sources say the owner of the building is behind on several bills and asked for a 1-week extension to make a key payment to DTE, only to have the power company decline. Meantime, the city of Detroit says there's other problems with the building. The law department confirming that they got the green light from a U.S. bankruptcy judge to move ahead with the state public nuisance action they're working on, despite the building recently filing for Chapter 11. At issue, the handling of emergency repairs. We ran the situation by a landlord-tenant attorney unaffiliated with this case, who says this type of situation is quite rare.
This is a unique situation, and I personally think it's a conspiracy between the current owner and the buyers to avoid filing 40 evictions and giving the tenants, 60 days to move out, going through the proper channels. They technically don't have to move out by December 3rd, but I don't think anybody wants to stay if there's no power to the building. Hopefully, DTE has a heart and decides not to cut the power and force these people out, in December, right before Christmas, when it's really cold out, because of nothing of their own faults.
This is my house, I have a lot of furniture and wonderful things in my apartment, so I'm having to totally uproot in such a short notice is just, it's inhumane. It's inhumane.
So what does DTE say about all this? They sent us a statement which says in part, while DTE Energy does not disclose customer-specific information, we can share that our goal is always to work with each customer to find a solution before service is impacted. We offer a variety of payment arrangements to help avoid interruptions and put customers on a sustainable path forward. Now, tonight on The Edge, what can you do? Although these situations are rare, what could you do if you're in a situation like this? We get a legal opinion from somebody, again, not connected to this case. That's tonight on The Edge. Reporting live downtown, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
All right, Dave, thank you. A high-stakes hearing today focused on illegal music downloads. Now, Sony and other music giants say internet service providers don't do their part to take action against people who steal songs. Coming up, how this case could mean big changes.